And we're live. So we're getting started here on this broadcast. It looks like the video that I'm wanting to share does not want to come up. Let me see if I can change something here to make it appear. Yep, we're going to have to do it this way. Okay. All righty, and we're live.
Light, an ancient form of energy that goes back to the dawn of time. For us, it all begins with the sun, the source of light and life for our entire solar system. Even Einstein concluded that everything we're made of contains light. All life originates with the sun through photosynthesis. Plants and vegetation collect the light, and all living creatures emit light. Humans actually emit infrared light, which can be seen with night vision devices. We've known for centuries that light has many effects on the body. LifeWave's phototherapy patches use light to stimulate the body's natural healing systems, providing specific health benefits. Here's how the technology works. First, a patch is applied to specific points on the body. Where the patch covers the skin, infrared light emitted from the body is reflected back into the tissue. This stimulates the skin, which in turn stimulates specific regions of the brain. The brain then taps into the body's own natural flow of energy and the ability to heal itself. Let's take a look at why this is important on a cellular level. For example, a number of our patch products help counteract free radicals, oxygen molecules that damage cell proteins and contribute to visible signs of aging. When the body is stimulated through phototherapy to release its own antioxidants, these free radicals are neutralized naturally. LifeWave phototherapy patches promote an environment that enables the body to optimize its restorative powers and provide specific health benefits, all without the use of harmful drugs or chemicals, all helping you to stay healthy and young. To find out more, contact your distributor. LifeWave, live long, live well.
Okay. Welcome to our information question and answer session. My name is Dame Lillian Walker, and we're going to get started here with the information Q&A. And so let's get started here. These are our phototherapy patches. Let's see. Here we go. They're also known as photobiomodulation patches or pluripotent cell activation patches. And today we are going to be talking about the Fantastic Five stem cell activation patches, also known as photobiomodulation patches. We do have a disclaimer that I'm going to share with you next. And we will get into the mother stem cell activation patch, daughter, and so forth. At the end, we'll have a question and answer session so you can ask whatever questions you have and we can address issues that are particular to you. And the first thing to know is, first of all, we're going to get into our disclaimer. The patches are not intended to treat, prevent, or cure any disease. We do not offer any healing or curing or treating or diagnosing, nor do we offer any protocols. The suggestions do not replace the diagnosis and treatment by a qualified licensed healthcare professional. We do strongly agree, and we do strongly recommend you consult with your doctor concerning your specific health challenges and treatment needed. No medical claims are being made with the suggestions here, and I do encourage you to share this information with whoever your primary care physician might be. In 1973, we have Lauren Picard, who discovered that GHKCU copper peptide, that it activated a third of your previously dormant stem cells, turning genes to a younger, healthier state. In fact, if you do a little search on NIH.gov website, or if you do PubMed, or you just do a Google Scholar search, you'll find that there's over 2,000 research studies that have replicated what Lauren Picard discovered for which he won a Nobel Prize in 1973 for this groundbreaking discovery that GHKCU copper peptide activates a third of your previously dormant stem cells. So what are stem cells? So stem cells are pluripotent cells. They're regenerative cells. And they have the ability to, first of all, they have 100% of the programming that's required to form you in your mother's womb from conception until you go to the grave. And pluripotent cells, pluri means plural, potent, potential. That means that there's many potentials. You have all the information to form everything from a fingernail to a brain neuron to a stomach cell, heart cell, stomach cell, fat cell, red blood cell, skin cell, like I said, brain neuron, and so forth. So the thing to know is that at conception, your mother's ovum, when it united with your father's sperm, now you had the complete information to the tune of 23,688 genes and stem cells. And now those cells start to regenerate and they start to duplicate and form you into an embryo so that 6 to 8 weeks later, we can evidence your heartbeat through a little ultrasound or Doppler sonar. The thing to be aware of is that by the time you turn 30 years old, 50% of your stem cells turn off, not because they're damaged, not because they disappear, not because they're destroyed, simply as a function of age. By the time you're 60 years old, 90% turn off. So you have 10% left that has to do the job that used to be the job of 100% of your original pluripotent cells. And I want you to think about your human body. It's like a temporary housing unit. It's just like a house, like the house that you're in right now, that you're watching this broadcast on. You have your body, which is a temporary housing unit, to house the energy, the personality, the being that is you, right? And I want you to think about inside your body, you have these things called stem cells. They're pluripotent cells. They're regenerative cells. And they're just like printer ink cartridges in your printer that makes copies for you. And when you have 100% of the ink, the copy is indistinguishable from the original. And when you've used up 60, 70, 80, 90% of the ink in that cartridge, now the copy is a faded version of the original. And in fact, the black copy is now a gray or maybe even a pink and white copy of the original. The same thing is true with your stem cells. When you have 30, 20, 10% left of your stem cells, trying to do the job that used to be the job of over 50% to 100% of your stem cells, those new cells that are replacing the damaged cells are not a crisp copy like they once were before, which is why you have aging as you continue to get older and older. You have less and less of your original pluripotent cells to regenerate, repair, and restore your body to a younger, healthier state. So how do these patches work? Well, they work through the infrared light that's inside your body. This stem cell, you look at the patch, the phototherapy patch, is a round, little 3-centimeter patch, just a little bit bigger than a quarter. And this is a mechanical device to redirect that infrared light that's in your body. You can see from the spectrograph that infrared light that's inside your body, it doesn't just stay contained inside the skin walls, but it actually emanates and glows outside of your body. So that in fact, if I were to put night vision goggles and I were to look at you at night, for some of you, it's morning where you're at, but here in California, it's nighttime. If I were to look at you in the dark with night vision goggles, I would see you glowing in the dark with infrared light. And in fact, in the spectrograph, you evidence that infrared light, that electricity, those electrons that are inside your body, electrons inside of the cells, electrolytes through your blood that are rich with nutrients, with information that go to your heart, to your brain, and all parts of the body. You can see how it's not just inside the body. You can actually see how it glows outside of your fingers, your hands, all over your body, with even strings of electricity shooting out from it. That's all infrared light. We are literally light beings, not as a figure of speech, not a spiritual, oogie, mumbo jumbo, metaphysical, spiritual. thing. This is literal science, proven by modern science. In fact, I have a BioWell machine that actually scans your hand, and I can measure the joules of energy on every organ of your body and every organ system of the body. And it'll tell me if you're within that sweet spot range, or if your energy is too low, or if the energy is too high. Either extreme is bad. It's no different than being really underweight or being really overweight. You want to be in that sweet spot. You want to be in balance in the middle. Does that make sense? So how do the patches work? Continuing on with this discussion about how do the patches work? Fantastic question. I'm so glad that you wondered and asked. And if I take a flashlight and I shine a light on a diamond crystal, you'll see that all the colors of that spectrum from the crystal bounces back into my eyes, and we can see all the different colors reflecting back to us, right? Same thing is true with the crystals that are in this patch, because this patch is comprised of organic sugar crystals, organic salt crystals, and organic hydrogen, oxygen, water crystals, and a proprietary blend of organic amino acids and polyoisomers. And those are structures, just like this diamond crystal, that as the infrared light in your body bounces off of this mechanical device that is just devised to reflect back that infrared light back into your body, those crystals are not absorbed by your skin. They're not absorbed into your body. These are non-transdermal. Non-transdermal means that nothing transfers into the dermis, into the skin. Nothing is absorbed. Simply, the light is reflected back mechanically into your body up to 4 inches deep, wherever you put the patches on your body, head to toe. And now that creates an activation of different peptides, depending on which one of the patches you are wearing, or whatever combination, or all of the patches that you may be wearing at a time. While phototherapy has been defined as the use of ultraviolet light. Oh, by the way, the sun it has infrared light. And in fact, the sun is about 43% infrared light, just as our bodies are infrared light. And so the use of ultraviolet light for its healing effects, the LifeWave patches have been specifically developed to reflect the light in the infrared and visible light bands back onto the skin where the patch has been placed. So supported by normal electrodermal skin conductance, the human body gives off a number of materials biochemically, including particulate release, gas emission, ultraviolet, infrared, near infrared, and a visible spectrum of light. So this then stimulates the area of the skin, producing improved physiological effects, and variations on phototherapy have been used for at least 100 years or more. And in that time, there has been very little evidence of any negative side effects. So this suggests that this is a relatively untapped option for healing with relatively few risks. So I want you to notice, I mentioned before, these are non-transdermal. Right here, non-transdermal, they're non-invasive. So again, nothing transfers into the skin, into the dermis. They're non-invasive, nothing invades your skin layers. They're organic, they're holistic, FDA compliant, class 1 medical devices under the general wellness category. And we manufacture our products at FDA registered facilities in the United States. And our facility in Ireland is registered with the Irish Medicine Board. It's the highest board authorization that you can get for Europe. We manufacture our products to the same standards as a medical device. In fact, our facility in Ireland is ISO 9001 and ISO 13485. That's a quality standard. And that's directly a quote from David Schmidt, who is the scientist who actually invented these patches originally for the Navy SEALs 23 years ago. So the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, has taken the position just very recently that all claims surrounding stem cells and healing, even those from natural products like ours, will be regarded as drug claims. So the FDA also asserts that claiming that the use of light to elevate peptides, such as GHKCU copper, is inappropriate for a general wellness product. And as a result, we can't say that, although the clinical studies show that. We have 90 clinical studies done in the United States, Europe, and in Asia. And all of our studies show a significant increase in the activation of these peptides in the body, but we are no longer allowed to say that, even though the evidence is there. And not only that, we have thousands of people. I have about 6,400 people on Telegram, all of whom are on the patches. Many of them take their blood either every day because they're diabetics or every 30 days because they're athletes or whatever circumstances they've got going on. I have some people that every 90 days, have one gentleman every 90 days since 1998 has been taking blood tests, and he used to have HIV. And as of December of last year, he no longer has the presence of HIV anywhere in his body. Now, we don't make any medical claims. The patches are not for that. However, when you're replacing and restoring and regenerating the original blueprint to replace whatever's damaged in the body, things disappear. Does that make sense? Important to note, you got to drink 50% your weight in fluid ounces of water. This is whether or not you do the stem cell activation patches. I'm sorry, I shouldn't call them stem cell activation patches. They're phototherapy, photobiomodulation patches. Also can be referred to as pluripotent activation patches. Now, you don't think that drinking water is that big of a deal? It's actually a very big deal, because when you don't drink enough water, what happens inside of your body? Well, first of all, your brain shrinks. Not a good thing. When your brain starts to shrink, it's not working as well as it could be. Your mitochondria and your cells start to shrink. The other thing is that the proteins in your body, specifically the Krebs cycle, but we don't need to get that particular, but the proteins in your body fold when you're dehydrated. When you're dehydrated or unhydrated, when your proteins fold, you have failure of certain systems in your body to perform what it is that they're supposed to do when things are working properly. When you're 2% dehydrated, you'll feel thirst in your mouth. At 8% dehydration, your DNA strands start to unravel. Now, I want you to think about that for a second. 8% dehydration, and the building block of your body, which is your DNA that holds your genetic material, it starts to come apart. It starts to unravel. Kind of a scary thought. 10% dehydration, you start to lose your mind. 12%, you're dead. 12% dehydration, no one can survive that. Your entire body shuts down. You die. You cease to exist as a living being. Everything dies inside of you. So that's why it is such a big deal and why it's so important to be drinking water from the time that you get up in the morning until you go to sleep. Just as we have a planet that is diurnal, that has two phases. We have the daylight, sunrise to sunset. And then you have sunset to sunrise, which is dark. It's nighttime. Your body is an awake cycle and a sleep cycle. That's why we apply the patches 12 hours on, morning to nighttime, let's say 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And then 9 p.m. we remove the patches, discard them. And if you have evening patches, then you apply your evening patches. Otherwise, you allow the rest, restore, and repair cycle. Oh, the other thing is, did you know that your DNA is an energy amplifier? It's no wonder that your DNA is an energy amplifier when your DNA strands are made up of 92% water. 92% water. That means that your primary structure that holds up your DNA is in fact water. That's why it's so important to keep hydrated. The other thing to note is that a baby coming out of the mother's womb, that juicy amniotic fluid sac where it was swimming in there, comes out kind of juicy at 82% water. Someone who's 60 years old is about 55% water. And so it's very important that you keep hydrated. So we talked about how you wear the patches 12 hours on and then 12 hours off. So you're going to put on, let's say, the mother stem cell activation patch, the energy enhancer patches, which is what you'll see that I'm wearing here on both of my wrists, tan patch and a white patch. It's a 2-patch system. This pulls the energy, this pushes the energy to amplify and energize me and to move the energy faster in my body to expedite the repair that's going on in it. You're going to wear it for 12 hours on and then 12 hours off. 12 hours later, I tell people, set an alarm every morning, the same time, apply patches, let's say 9 a.m. in the morning, and then 12 hours later, 9 p.m., remove the patches. The time doesn't matter. It could be 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. It could be 1 p.m. to 1 a.m. It doesn't matter as long as you're consistent with applying. You want to honor that 12 hours on, 12 hours off, and not go some days at 6 a.m., sometimes at noon, sometimes at 10. No, that's gonna That's not going to be good for your body. You want to be persistent and consistent. And just as you have a normal bedtime, you have your waking hours and you have your evening hours, 12 hours on, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. is good. 1 p.m. to 1 a.m. is fine too. I have a 22-year-old and an 87-year-old that both apply their day patches at 1 p.m. and then they remove them 12 hours later at 1 a.m. Easy peasy. Now you allow for that rest, repair, and restore cycle. So we're going to talk about Dr. Harmon, who had a right bundle branch blockage when he came to us 2 years ago. Brain specialist, been doing medicine for about 40 years, father and grandfather. He has a pretty big tribe and he's got a huge medical practice back east. And much to his dismay, 2 years ago, he was diagnosed with a right bundle branch blockage when he had all these weird feelings in his chest. And he discovered from not one, not two, but 3 cardiologists told him, oh, you have a right bundle branch blockage, and we're sad to inform you that, guess what? This is inoperable, and you're going to have to be on heart meds for life. And your longevity is compromised because of this condition. So sorry about that. Too bad. So sad. And knowing what he knows about organic, holistic, alternative medical health, he said, there's got to be something out there that can fix me. And then the patches came into his experience. Lo and behold, good old patches came into his experience. Thank goodness for that. Here's 39 and 49. And so he started to wear the patches. 14 months later, when he had his heart scanned again, all 3 scans from all 3 cardiologists showed that the right bundle branch blockage, in fact, disappeared. They're no longer there. Really quite incredible if you think about it. But in addition to having his pluripotent cells replace and restore and regenerate those damaged cells that were causing that right bundle branch blockage, because as you're aware, you've got the pump side of your heart, that the plumbing, the pipes have to be clear so you can get all that blood flow rich with oxygen and electrolytes go from the heart to the brain to send out signals to the rest of the body. And you have the electrical side of the heart that need to be working well, right? Both and have to be working good in order for it to take care of the body properly. But he had a compromise because it's right bundle branch blockage. So that got resolved. And on top of that, his stem cells recognize he's got some damaged cells. You've got some hair that you've got some oxidative stress, which is why you've got gray hair. You've got some fine lines and wrinkles on the forehead. You can see I could play tic-tac-toe before, not anymore, but back then I could when he started here. He also has some inflammation around his eyes. He's got thinning eyebrows, very little brown on his eyebrows, and you've got fine lines and wrinkles on his cheeks and on his chin, and that's gone away. If you check him out on Dr. Stacey Hallweger's YouTube channel, because she's interviewed him quite a few times, I have an interview of his. He just wrote a phenomenal book on GHKCU, and he talks about GHKCU copper peptide and the benefits to the body. It's all based on the story, on the not just the research of Lauren Picard, but all the many other studies that have been published since 1973 when he won that Nobel Prize. So he got the both and benefit, and we all do who wear the patches. It repairs the things that are in the worst condition and the other things that wherever your pluripotent cells recognize that you have oxidative stress. Oh, by the way, fibroblasts begin to decline when you're just 25 years old in their production of collagen. As you're aware, collagen is the #1 building block protein of the body for skin and tissue inside and outside the body. When you're 30 years old, that begins to decline as you have 50% of your original stem cells actually turn off. So let's talk about the first person I patched to. They had long haulers and they were miserable because every day they were suffering with insomnia for 18 months. They also had terrible headaches, nausea. Every morning they would wake up with headaches, with nausea, with low stamina, fatigue. It was just terrible, terrible, terrible situation for way too long. 1.5 years is a very long time, as you guys are all aware. And so we started Barry on the patches on June 23rd. He received the package in the mail in Toronto, Canada. He called me up that same evening. We got him started on the patches. And I said, listen, Barry, wear these patches. We're going to get you a good night's sleep. And let's see how long it takes before you really feel a difference in your body. Get in touch with me tomorrow. Let me know how your sleep was. And the next day I got this wonderful text message, which was like the best Christmas present ever, even though it was June 24th. And it says here, hey, Lillian, just a note, don't know if it's a placebo or the patches work that quick or what, but I had really good sleep, a little better sleep than other nights. I fell asleep quicker. And today I am just on a high. I'm ecstatic. And Gwen sees that in me, and I feel really, really good physically when I awoke this morning. No headache, no nausea. Yeah, it's just been a phenomenal day. So thank you, and I'll update you as soon as we go along. I hope all is well. Thanks. Bye. To be able to provide a friend that kind of relief just because I shared this life-saving technology with him is, I can't even begin to describe to you how elated, how joyful, how ecstatic I was to know that he finally got a good night's rest. And not only did he get a good night's rest, he felt phenomenal the next day, free of headaches and nausea, etc. Pretty awesome, if you ask me. Now we've gotten Kathy. Wouldn't you agree it's a pretty good feeling to know that you're able to help someone? Now we got Kathy. For 33 years, she suffered with autoimmune disorder from breast implants. 33 years from 3 breast implants. And so that was her primary motivation for getting on these patches. We told her, let's take a picture before. And every 30 days, we want to encourage you to take a picture so that you chart your progress. And she did that. And much to her surprise, and also ours, we're always surprised at the results that we see our people getting. It's pretty extraordinary. And no one is so special that you're not going to get results from this, because all of us are built at conception from your pluripotent cells. That's just all mammals. Doesn't matter if you're human or if you're a cat, a dog, a horse. If you're a mammal, that's just Bio 101. And we know from blood tests, brain scans, EKGs, and all sorts of other diagnostic tests, we can see before you wore the patches, and then 6 months and a year later, you see the improvements and how things that were bad disappear and how the body gets into balance and into homeostasis. And so this is true for Kathy. She was 62 when she started here in January. 62 years old, had deep, fine lines, wrinkles, and just not good, right? March, considerable improvement. Just 3 months down the line, 6 months later, she just barely has a hint of some of the lines. July, all the wrinkles, all the lines are gone. And yes, my friends and gems, she literally looks like she's 20 years younger. She looks like she's 35, 40 years old, even though she's 63 now. This picture she posted on Facebook in October, and I quickly asked her, I'm like, hey, can I get a profile picture of you? I want people to see your face as well. And I also want to see if you can come on a Zoom just like this, because on a Zoom, you can't alter the pictures or anything. It's like in real time, right? And people will see your face and they'll know that these pictures are legitimate. Because on my Facebook page, people all know that I don't put anything that's bogus. I don't even know how to do Photoshop. So the problem is that people are going to forward that to other friends. Those friends are going to pass it on to other friends. If I was a friend of a friend, I would say, oh, that was Photoshop, that's AI, whatever. This way, when they watch the video interview of you and me, they'll see that this is the real McCoy. There's no alteration or filters or anything of that sort. And so she agreed to do that, but she wouldn't give me a profile picture at that time. It wasn't till after we did the Zoom video and she watched it, she said, you know what, I'm going to give you the profile picture. So she sent me this picture. So now I have this picture of her. Like I said before, there's no way she would take a picture before, but she's taken a picture after, which is good enough in my book. Does that make sense? Here's my story. I'm not going to spend a lot here because I've done so many videos where people have asked me to come onto their podcast, enter to their YouTube channels and their Instagram channels and their Instagram feeds, and Dr. Denise show and so many others, and the Wellness Superheroes and the Life Force Network. It goes on and on and on. So when they started asking me for this, I went ahead and they asked me for before and after pictures and a laundry list of everything that I had going on. And so I'm not going to bore you with the details, but long story short was I was hit by a bus just 3 blocks shy of completing a 16-mile bike ride back in 2017, the summer of 2017. And I lost 50% of my hair. I had a traumatic brain injury, neck injury, back injury, and my right leg, I had a laceration, a cut that went from my ankle all the way to my knee. Beyond miserable. Actually, my head, neck, and back hurt way more than my leg did. My leg stung and so forth, but my neck and my back, it was like walking on eggshells every single day from the moment that I was hit until I got started on the patches. I had taken down the pain level quite a bit and gotten a good amount of my memory back, because I had zero short-term memory for 2 years after I lost that battle of my not having eyes behind my head, because the driver saw me but miscalculated, and so ended up hitting me. And that was an Orange County Transit Authority bus here in Orange County, unfortunately. Can you imagine how scary that must have been for him, knowing that he hit someone? Anyhow, it was terrible, and it took me a long time to recover from that. But all that to say that, knock on wood, I'm fine now. And my memory is better than it ever was before. In fact, I play these little memory games every now and then. I still remember in March, I went to Scottsdale. I travel kind of a lot, and I always make it a point to remember the names of people, behind the desk, because sometimes I return to those cities. So for example, I had a guy in the beginning of March who we went to, I was a speaker at the Best U Expo in LA, and the guy at the hotel that we were staying in, his name was Maverick. To this day, I'll never forget Maverick. Prior to being on the patches, I probably would have forgotten his name, honestly. But now, since my memory is better than it ever was my entire academic career, even better than it was when I was pre-med at USC. So I do play these little memory games just to show myself how resilient my brain is, because it's better than it was through my entire academic career, because it repairs things to a younger, healthier state. And when I was 5, I had my first traumatic brain injury because I was under general anesthetics when I had eye surgery. And so anytime you're under general anesthetics, if you're not aware of this, for each time that you're under general anesthetics, you suffer a traumatic brain injury, separate from any traumatic brain injuries that you may have suffered, either from an accident or from any other. Maybe a bat hit you, were playing baseball, a ball or a bat hit you in the head. Maybe you're playing soccer, and both you and your friend bounced each other's heads off of each other. Maybe you got into the habit of hitting your head on the back of your head, the front of your head, the side of your head, on the wall next to your bed as a kid. That's terrible, because every time you're hitting your head, that's a concussion. So that creates brain damage, and there's consequences to that. When you have general anesthetics, there's 4 things an anesthesiologist does. Those 4 things are, you might want to take notes on this. Number 1 thing, the first thing all anesthesiologists will do is they wipe out your memory. They give you amnesia. They have to, in order for you to recover from that surgery as best as possible. So they give you amnesia. Number 2, hypnosis. Number 3, analgesia. Analgesia is turning off your pain receptors so you don't feel pain when they cut into you. And number 4 is paralysis. They paralyze the body so you don't even so much as flinch while you're under general anesthetics. To do that, they have to lower your vitals. When they lower your vitals, they lower your rate of respiration, therefore depriving the brain of oxygen, lower your heart rate, lower your blood pressure. And they keep you in that kind of like a coma state throughout the surgery until it's time for you to wake back up. If you want more information, the best anesthesiologist that I know of that I love to learn from is Dr. Anthony Cave. He's a Stanford and Harvard trained anesthesiologist who's also a functional medicine doctor. He's incredible, has wonderful YouTube value, has wonderful education. Anything you ever wanted to know about general anesthetics, he's a great resource. So I would encourage you to learn and study, even if it's just a little bit. He's a great resource. Okay, moving on. So let's talk about the mother stem cell activation patch. Nikki and Sil, I want you to know that we're going to open this up after we go over the Fantastic 5. And then you'll be able to ask whatever questions that you might have so that we can cater to you and anyone else here on YouTube that's interested in getting their questions asked. Just put them in the comments below. And you can also text. I have at the beginning of this presentation, we showed our hotline on my avatar. You can always call that 949 number, which I'll show at the end of the presentation. So again, at the end of the presentation, we'll have that contact information. So this mother stem cell activation patch, and again, the FDA tells us we can't call them stem cell activation patches anymore. So I'm going to actually change this in this presentation because this is a brand new development They've given us 90 days to change this. So I'm going to change this here if it'll let me do that. Yeah. So we're going to call him mother pluripotent cell activation patch. So in real time, I am fixing this because this is a relatively new development. So this activates your original cells by your own body's infrared light, which resets a third of your genes to your younger, healthier state, and it regenerates cells, replacing damaged cells. It restores your collagen, rebuilds scar tissue by not only replacing the damaged cells, but it replaces it with the original tissue, which is why your scars disappear. Thank goodness for that, because I went from the bone was wiggly, the scar was purple and raised and thick, and immediately the bone filled in within the first 4 months. And then that purple scar went to flat and it was a brown scar. And then before I knew it, it turned into a light tan scar and it shrunk. And now that scar is from top to bottom, it's 3 inches. And the middle part is like regular skin, and above and below it, it's all regular skin. There's like a little dot towards the beginning of the ankle and towards my knee. And those 3 little light tan spots are all that's left for it to be completely gone. No one knows how long it'll take for it to be 100%. Will it be 100%? Absolutely. I just need to give my body time to replace all of that so that it's complete. Does that make sense? So it reduces fine lines and wrinkles. It increases your energy, your sexual libido, because youth and vitality, you have increased sexual libido and vigor. It increases the antioxidants, anti-aging, anti-inflammation in your body, anti-inflammation properties. If you have pain, the subjects in the clinical studies all showed a significant reduction in pain. Within 3 to 4 minutes, they had a 50 to 100% pain reduction in pain. Everyone that I patched in the United States and in Europe who had a migraine or who had a headache, I simply took the mother stem cell activation patch and the ice wave, which is the only patch that we have that does not repair anything in the body. I just had these 2 patches. I put the 39 on the neck bump, which is at the base of your neck, the top of your spine. That governing vessel 14 acupuncture point is where your brainstem goes down into your spinal column, signals your entire body through your autonomic nervous system. And then I take this ice wave patch and I put it on a tan patch on the left temple, a white patch on the right temple. The other alternative place to put it, I like it on the temples because it's practically touching your brain there because you have such thin skin on the side of your temple. So it's almost touching your brain there. Another part where you're almost touching the brain is right under each earlobe. So you can also do a tan patch under the left earlobe because there's an acupuncture point there and your carotid arteries there, and under the right earlobe. Same thing, those soft spots. And every single person I've had has had 50 to 100%, most of them 100% pain relief, where it's funny, they have usually a confused expression on their face because they're like, they're looking around like, where did the pain go? How is it possible that this is working so fast? Within some of them 30 seconds, some of them take 3 to 4 minutes, but it works on everyone. It's really exciting to be able to provide that relief to someone who's been suffering with a migraine. I had one gal in Florida, Destin, just last month. She had been suffering with daily migraines since she was 3 years old. She was 28 years old with 2 kids. And we were at this tattoo convention where they also do like makeup tattoo, eyebrows and lips and things like that, and eyeliner. And she was like, oh my gosh, I got to tell everybody about this. She goes, this is incredible. She goes, it's like 100% gone. She goes, I couldn't look totally to the left or to the right because it was too painful until you patched me. Pretty amazing. So I want you to think about, we have a Veritas Concilium, which is a true plan of action. Veritas means true, Concilium, plan of action. Basically means a recommendation or a regimen. It's using traditional Chinese medicine acupuncture points. It's going to magnify the effects of the body when we apply them on acupuncture points. So here you'll see governing vessel 14. That's where X39 is on. And then what we do is we link the patches together. We take X39, 49, glutathione, carnosine, and eon. We we have the adhesive, the crystals. We got to maintain the integrity of the crystals because that's what's signaling your body. It has to, that entire crystal has to touch uninterrupted your body. But the adhesive can overlap. So I connect them like this. Adhesive overlapping. And then they're in a row. And governing vessel 14, we used 2 acupuncture points in the 90 clinical studies. One was governing vessel 14. The other one was 3 finger widths below the belly button. That's conception vessel 6. That conception vessel 6 meridian acupuncture point deals with all things having to do with conception, with reproduction, and with digestion. So anytime somebody has anything with digestion, with reproduction, with hormones, because your reproductive organs have to do with your hormones. So we'll put those directly on conception vessel 6. Or if somebody cannot reach back there because they can't lift their arms above their arm, above their head because of the rotator cuffs or whatever health issues they might have going on, no problem. You can put them anywhere on the body. But those 2 spots are where the clinical studies that were done that were double blind with placebo in a clinical setting, but they will work throughout the body. And once you get started on the patches, we will do a patch placement call. We will address what your concerns are, wherever your pain points on, because we want to get that addressed first to bring your pain levels down, to bring your cortisol levels down so that you feel better as soon as possible. Does that make sense? Okay, moving on. So now we're going to do the daughter stem cell activation patch. We did the mother. That's going to be like the foundation of your house. Before you put your floor, you're going to put your foundation. Now you're going to have the daughter stem cell activation patch. That's X49. And again, here in live time, I'm going to go ahead and make this correction because they want us to no longer use stem. So we're going to call this photo biomodulation cell activation patches. Now, photobiomodulation simply means phototherapy or photo light biological, because we're biological beings. Modulation means movement. So it's wearable light technology. Okay, moving on here. We're going to talk about what this daughter phototherapy patch, photobiomodulation patch. So for this right here, we're just going to take out the word stem for now. And this is going to provide radiation poisoning relief. We love this patch because it will increase the lean muscle mass, your bone density. That's why my bone, instead of it being wiggly like it was before, it's now smooth all the way across. So exciting. So exciting. My nickname in high school was Legs because I danced and we had a dance orchestra and I used to do the dance concerts twice a year because I also did ballet. Long story short, my legs were always like one of my best features. And for 5 years, I could not wear shorts, could not wear dresses. I had to wear long pants the whole time to keep that covered. It was over a year before that wound closed. And in fact, it got worse before it got better because I developed a rash all the way around that whole front of my leg. It was really a bad thing. But this increases bone density, muscle mass and strength, increases your energy, increases focus and cardiovascular function. This patch protects you against electromagnetic frequencies from 5G, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi radiation, from blue light toxicity that you'll get from LED lights, from the screen that you're watching this presentation, from the cell phone, iPad, notebook, desktop, laptop, doesn't matter. You also get blue light toxicity from LED lights. LED lights are everywhere. Think about it. In the United States, most states, you have to have LED lights. They don't let you use incandescent bulbs anymore. That's blue light toxicity. In your place of work, you have fluorescent light, halogen lights, LED lights. In the supermarket, whatever public places, they're all fluorescent lights, halogen lights, LED lights. In your car, 100% of those components have LED lights. Your car, your train, your plane, your automobiles and boats. Look at your kitchen, your refrigerator, your cappuccino maker, your coffee maker, your hot water coffee pot, your microwave, your oven, all have LED blue lights. You're getting bombarded with blue LED lights, and this causes insulin resistance, and it causes inflammation. This patch is going to help you offset that. Not to mention the EMFs that you get from going through TSA scanners at an airport, not to mention the x-rays that you get when you go to a doctor's office, dentist's office, and so forth, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's no shortage of places that you can get radiation and EMFs. So let's now talk about the next three patches are glutathione, carnosine, and eon. These next three patches are called the Y-age system. There's the three of these. And these, if you think about building a house, the foundation, the bearing wall, you're going to have the three walls to build your little house. Because I am not an octopus, I can't hold up all five of them to build a little makeshift house here. But let's go on to glutathione. This next patch, oh, by the way, remember to drink 50% your weight in fluid ounces of water. We don't want those proteins folded because you're dehydrated or unhydrated. We want them to be open, working functionally the way they should to do everything they need in your body. So glutathione is the master antioxidant. It's what detoxifies you. It's your master detoxifier and immune booster. It's going to boost your antivirals. It's a radioprotector against DNA damage. Huge. It improves your skin appearance. It helps promote relaxation, reduces stress. You find glutathione in every muscle of the body, every organ of the body. Let's say you start today on your patches. Let's say you put your patches on at 10 a.m. and you remove them 12 hours later at 10 p.m. So 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Tomorrow morning, you go to put on a glutathione patch again, along with your 39, 49, glutathione, carnosine, and eon. Within 24 hours, your glutathione levels will boost 300% to as high as 600%, all based on the original playbook and blueprint of those original pluripotent cells that were in your mother's womb, that formed you in your mother's womb, not from birth. This is from prior to birth, which is why this is so powerful. You can unring the bell of any damage that you may have experienced even right before birth. It could be in the last trimester. It could be right before birth, during birth, or after. And now you have your body reset to a younger, healthier state. Really is quite remarkable. There's a research paper, and I want to share with you the glutathione patches that were worn 12 hours daily over a period of just 4 weeks produced a highly significant improvement in physiologic functional status of the pancreas, liver, gallbladder, intestines, left and right adrenals, hypothalamus, and pituitary gland, and a very significant improvement in the pancreas with a statistical power of at least 72%. So stated differently, all organs achieved significant cellular physiologic functional status improvement compared to a baseline with a statistical power of 91%. That's incredible. That is a direct quote from the research, the clinical study called Nanoscale Glutathione Patches Improve Organ Function. So my friends and gems, if you have a condition, if you have any kind of a medical diagnosis, if you have symptoms that are tied to any one of these organs, this is letting you know how important glutathione is for the restoration of that particular organ so that whatever conditions you have disappear over the next 12 months and you get relief and you just feel better. Does that make sense? Yes, it surely does, doesn't it? So the next patch we're going to talk about is carnosine. Carnosine, the root word here is carne, like carne asada tacos. The word carne in Latin means flesh. So this supports and improves your cardiovascular system. That's right, that pump in your chest. Very important. All things related to heart and muscle. It improves healthy brain function, memory, focus, and brain processing time. Strength, stamina, endurance go up, and it detoxes your brain from aluminum. So important. And it aids in wound restoration. Some of you are thinking right now, oh, I don't have to worry about detoxing from aluminum. I don't really have any exposure to that. Really? Well, I don't know about you, but most of us, if not all of us who were born in the United States or were raised in the United States, until 2014, all of us used toothpaste that was in an aluminum tube. And it wasn't until the makers of Tom toothpaste, an organic toothpaste company, had the clamoring of their consumers and customers who said, how can you have organic toothpaste in an aluminum tube when we've known for 25, 30 years that aluminum is a known neurotoxin? It causes brain fog. It causes cognitive decline. It causes a malfunction of the brain. It causes all sorts of havoc. How can you put this organic toothpaste that now is absorbing the aluminum from the aluminum tubing? Now you go to brush your teeth and you're not swallowing this toothpaste. You don't have to swallow it. You're putting it on your teeth. It's being absorbed directly from your gums straight into your brain because it's all right here, all connected. That's not enough. How many of you have had a potato that was baked in aluminum foil? Turkey, ham, chicken, you name it. Sweet potatoes baked in an aluminum foil in an aluminum pan. How many of you guys have eaten a pie that was baked in an aluminum pie tin? How many of you have gone to a catered event where they had trays of aluminum that were covered in aluminum foil? And now for that wedding, that bar mitzvah, that whatever that celebration was, that special event, how many times have you brought home take home and they gave you an aluminum container? Now you have that food that's in contact with the aluminum and it's absorbing trace amounts of aluminum. And you see how you're getting it from many, many different sources. And it's no wonder that we have an uptick in Alzheimer over the last 100 years. Think about how many juices you drank out of an aluminum can, beers, soda, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Sprite, 7-Up, Crush, you name it. Water. There's plenty of water now that's now in aluminum cans. Wine that's now in aluminum cans. A lot of drinks and beverages are in aluminum cans. Not to mention canned food that some of them are in steel cans, but some of them are in aluminum cans. There's no shortage of that. But guess what? This is going to unring that bell for you because carnosine is going to detox your brain from aluminum, which is going to give you more mental clarity, focus, and brain processing speed. You're going to be able to memorize things without even trying to memorize them, and you're going to recall them effortlessly. That's what happens to me, even though I had a traumatic brain injury. And that's why my brain, my memory, my focus, my brain processing speed is way, way better than it ever was my entire life. So you learn things much quicker and recall things much better. So, oh, by the way, remember to drink from the time you get up until you go to sleep, 50% your weight in fluid ounces of water. So now we're going to talk about the last of the 5. You've got Eon. This patch does eons of good, but Eon is the name of the actual antioxidant, just like glutathione is the name of that master antioxidant, and carnosine. So this one, if you are a neuro nerd like me, you're going to probably want to not just check out the 90 clinical studies, but you're going to want to do your own research on each one of those antioxidants. And the research that's available will blow you away. Anyhow, this is a master anti-inflammatory patch. This is going to regulate the inflammation in your body, head to toe, inside and out. This is called our anti-stress and happy patch. It raises your anti-neoplastins that you were born with, that you were conceived with. I should correct that. Not that you were born with, but that you were conceived with. There's a distinction there. Increases DHEA, fountain of youth hormone. Who doesn't love the DHEA, fountain of youth hormone? Not to be confused with DHA, which is entirely something different. I do encourage you to do your own due diligence and type into Google DHEA versus DHA so that you see what the difference is. We are talking about DHEA, which is the fountain of youth hormone. This patch creates brain balancing of your left and your right brain hemisphere. So the moment you put this patch on, wherever you might put it, depending on what your circumstances are, I recommend that you put it on your brainstem, on governing vessel 14. For some people, depending if they have eye issues, if they have other kind of neurological conditions, I'll have them wear it above their left or their right eye or their left or their right temple or left or right below that earlobe, surrounding the head if you have certain types of conditions. The bottom line is that it's going to balance your left and your right brain hemisphere that's out of balance. And as you continue to wear the patches every day, you get more and more balance. And it's not unusual for our people anywhere from 24 hours to 21 days. Sometimes it takes longer. It just depends on the person and what they got going on in their body, because no two bodies are alike. They're like thumbprints. Everybody's is unique. Even twins, identical twins, don't have the same thumbprints. It's different, right? And so a lot of times in that 3rd to 4th week, a lot of people report back that they're really happy. They're almost feeling euphoric, but they feel calm. And that's because as your brain is being balanced, your left and your right brain hemisphere is coming into homeostasis. You get balance. You have elevated energy, but because it reduces your cortisol levels and your C-reactive proteins, and now it brings them into balance, you feel so much better. People who used to fidget, used to have all sorts of nervous PTSD, anxiety, fidgetiness, negative looping thoughts, all sorts of other congestion issues kind of going on. That disappears and dissipates, sometimes in 7 days, sometimes 30 days. Sometimes it takes longer. Sometimes it takes 3 to 6 or 9 months. It just depends on your body and what else you got going on, right? Your pluripotent cells have smart intelligence. It knows how to prioritize. If it has to do with your heart, if it has to do with your brain, if it has to do with your liver, it knows to give that. Any damage in there, it knows to take care of that first, as opposed to if you break a toenail. Like, those are damaged cells too. Got a broken toenail, we got to fix that. And of course, we got to keep that nail growing. But the priority is going to be given to your heart, to your brain, and to your liver. Even your kidneys, you got 2 of those. Your kidneys only take care of 15% of your detoxing. Your liver takes care of 85%. So your pluripotent cells are smart enough to know how to prioritize and what's the most important for your vitality to keep you alive. What's the second most, the third most, fourth most, and so forth. Okay. So what are anti-neoplasms? So most people don't know what those are. So I'm going to explain to you that those are peptides, and research shows us that they're found in the urine and the blood of healthy people. They might stimulate your immune system, and these peptides might also kill certain cancer cells or prevent them from proliferating, multiplying, and growing. They're used for various cancers: high cholesterol, brain swelling due to infection, due to encephalitis, meningitis, HIV, AIDS, Parkinson's disease, etc. All sorts of other, there's no limit to the different types of conditions that can give you these things. The bottom line is that in a clinical setting, we administer anti-neoplastins from donor blood. We take 2,000 or more people's donor blood, we centrifuge it, we take out the plasma, and then you re-inject it by IV through IVIG back into the person's body. But guess what? With these patches, we don't need to do that, because your original blueprint of anti-neoplastins that were there, that when you were conceived in the womb, that gets turned back on, and it helps bring these things into balance for you as these peptides. You have more of them that are peptides that are actually working in your favor. So, oh, by the way, did you know that blue light? I mentioned it already. Blue light destroys DHEA, the fountain of youth hormone, and it causes inflammation in your body. Everyone. This is mammals. So human beings, cats, dogs, horses, all mammals. We get damage from blue light, and it causes inflammation in the body, and it causes insulin resistance. If you have insulin resistance, you're going to have glucose spikes. Not good. That really causes something called glycation in the joints, in the bones. If you look at a baby, you look at a baby's joints, that cartilage is a beautiful, pristine white, almost translucent. It's absolutely gorgeous. If you look at an older person, someone who's north of 70, 80, 90 years old, you see those joints, they're not clear anymore. They're not pure white. They're brown because they're basically being baked from the inside out. So over time, you're baking. Glycation is like, because of inflammation, I want you to think about, sometimes we hear inflammation and we hear chicken. It gets kind of vanilla-ized, in my opinion. Inflammation means inside flames in the body. So make no mistakes. When you have inflammation, you have flames. You have something that's hot, that's burning the inside of your body, which is going to cause things to swell. That's what's happening. You're being cooked from the inside out. Make no mistakes. 5G, 4G, 3G, blue light toxicity is baking you from the inside out. So this is going to help offset that. Okay. So before we go on to how much it costs, I want to see if Nikki or Clee, if you want to unmute yourselves and ask whatever questions you might have, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions here now.
I do have a couple quick questions for you.
Okay, go ahead.
When it comes to patching with the Fantastic Five, does the only place that we can put them or preferred places on the back of the neck, or can it be more targeted to anywhere? Does it have to be just in a straight line? Can they be separated?
That is a fantastic question. The patches work anywhere on the body. The top of your head, it doesn't matter. You can put them anywhere. My rule of thumb that I like to tell with my patients and my clients is, listen, if you have pain anywhere in the body, or if you have more than one pain point in your body, point to the worst pain in your body, and that's what we're going to patch. We'll take the Fantastic Five. Let's say I have, for example, Teresa, she had hip surgery in her right hip, and then the doctor told her that she was going to have hip replacement also on her left hip. But she didn't want to do that again. It's terribly painful on either side of that. So I told her, take the patches and simply let's surround that area with the 5 patches, because she was on the Fantastic Five. So she literally took the Fantastic Five. It was her left hip that was suffering the pain. And she had done the kissing patches like we oftentimes tell people to do, where you overlap the adhesive, but you maintain the integrity of the crystal lattice. You don't want that to overlap, because you want the integrity of that signal to do what it's supposed to do, for each one of those patches. So she simply took those patches, and I'm going to demonstrate just by myself standing up. Let me see if I can get far back enough. Yeah. So it was her left hip. So she took the patches and she simply put them on her left hip. She pointed to the pain, because I told her, point to the pain and patch it. So you want to, this is like circumventing the area of pain, which the patches. So you can have them in a row like this. She had the front, it could have been the side, or it could be in the back. You can also take the patches if you don't want to connect them, if it resonates more with you, if it feels better to you to put, let's say the pain is in the front of the hip, you can put them in a circle around the area, so that it doesn't have to be a perfect circle. It could be square-like, as long as it's surrounding the area of pain. So you put the 5 patches there, or they could be the 5 patches here, or you could have the 5 patches on the back of the hip. Wherever it is that you have the pain, you want to target that pain, because you're activating that area immediately. The patches are going to work systemically throughout the entire body, but you're focusing on that area of pain to bring the pain level down, bring the inflammation down, etc. Does that make sense?
Yep. So you'd want to keep all the patches together.
Yeah, I tell my people
with the purpose of doing exactly what you just explained. Perfect. Okay, and then I know it's not about the Fantastic Five, but you were mentioning about the energy enhancer, and it sparked something in my mind today. I had gotten acupressure, and we were talking about she called it the girdle vessel, which is a horizontal meridian right in our body. But the energy enhancer, you have one on each of your wrists. Could you put like one on your wrist and one on your ankle, like opposite sides, just as long as it's opposites? Or is it preference that it's like one side of the body matching to the other side of the body? That makes sense.
That's a fantastic question. I've never had anybody ask me that in a year and a half that I've personally been patching people. So as long as you keep your tan patch on your left and the white patch on your right, you should be fine. Just experiment with it. What I would tell you to do is take your patch and only take half of the adhesive off for the tan and half of the adhesive of the white. And in the spots where you think, because usually you want to take the tan patch and point to the pain and patch with the tan patch on the left side of the body. So let's say if you put it on your left wrist, you talked about energy enhancer, not ice wave, right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. So you would take energy enhancer, and let's say you put that on your right wrist, your left wrist, excuse me, tan on left. And then if you can experiment, you can see, okay. And before you keep it as a permanent application, you try it on your right wrist, see how you feel there, like give it a minute or two, and then tear it off, and then take the other one. You said you wanted to put the other one on your right foot. It could be under your right knee. It could be on the outside of your right ankle, above, between your big toe and your second toe, on the right foot. You can do that because it's two different sides of the body. The patch has a pull push energy to it. So since you're honoring the left and the right side, you should be fine with that. And see what you like, how it feels to you. If it feels better to do left wrist, right foot, then do that. If it doesn't feel good, then don't. Then do left and right wrist. As you know from the instruction booklet that comes with the patches, let me see if I can find that real quick here. The little instruction booklet. Oh, it's not here right now. I usually have it handy, but I don't right now. But the instruction booklet shows you under each clavicle, under each, you could put it under each wrist on this side or on the flip side. I like this because it's your pericardium acupuncture points on the left and the right wrist. You can also put it under 3 finger widths below the knee bump, or you can put it under the left and right foot on the kidney 1 point, which is right under the ball of the foot in the middle.
Yep.
Or you can put it in between the first and second toe on the top of the foot, left and right foot. That'll work too. But yeah, you can experiment. Put it on a wrist and a right foot. Because it's left, right, you should be fine.
Okay, perfect. And then I just wanted to double check because I know I have another gal on that's on my team, and I know she would love this because she's been asking about the Fantastic Five. Is this going to be recorded? Yes, you are recording, correctly?
Yeah, it's recorded. It's on YouTube. So as soon as we're done, you can go to either damelillianwalker.com, which I'll show you that here in just a second. damelillianwalker.com, that points to my YouTube channel, and you'll see for the live videos, it's the most recent video because it's being broadcasted right now on YouTube as we speak. So it's already available for anyone who wants to watch it. You can copy that link and then you could share it with them. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much. You've been amazing and informative. I love it. Thank you.
You're welcome. I wanted to add, because you did talk about the Fantastic Five. If you have someone, because every now and then I'll have someone who will put the Fantastic Five and they're like, oh, what a relief. Finally, it's like the first and only thing ever that finally took their pain down. They're sleeping well. But as soon as they remove their patches for the 12 hours for the rest, repair, and restore, they're like, the pain comes back. I go, if that happens, then let's split up your patches. The next morning, I'm going to have you put X39, X49, still put it on your brainstem or your pain point. And then when you remove your patches 12 hours later, then you're going to take glutathione, carnosine, and eon, and you'll put it on that same pain point spot, and you're going to wear it 12 hours from that PM to the AM. So basically 24 hours a day you're wearing patches, but you're signaling different things in the body. You're still allowing the rest, repair, and restore cycle. And because you're allowing that rest, repair, and restore cycle, your body now has full coverage 24/7, and then people are able to sleep. And that oftentimes, just splitting them up like that oftentimes works well for people who have more severe pain. So something to think about. And you could always—
And you would keep the X patches together and then the Y age patches together.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Okay, awesome.
Yeah, I definitely would. Yeah, because glutathione will reduce pain, so will eon and carnosine as well. So absolutely, that combination works really. People's bodies tend to really like that.
It's a really good combination, that Y age. It's amazing.
It's unbelievable. I mean, my daughter broke her foot, and she broke her foot on a Saturday, like at 2:00. And I was amazed because she was having, when you break a bone, oftentimes your body goes into shock. And some of the symptoms of shock are, I used to work in the ER and for a private ambulance company and in the hospital. And the symptoms of shock are usually nausea, dizziness, and the feeling that you either feel like you want to pass out, and depending on the severity, you will pass out because the blood is pulled from the brain and it goes to the area of injury. So in her particular case, when she called me, she's like, Mom, she goes, I'm at the entrance of my home. Ike's not here. And I just broke my foot and I feel like I'm going to throw up and I feel like I'm going to pass, like I'm blacking out. I'm like, I'll be right there. Luckily, she lives only 5 minutes from me. So I said, I'll be right there. I grabbed all my patches. I had just run out of Ice Wave again because this happened last summer. And when I first started, the first month and a half that I got on the patches, even though I got a diamond pack and you have like 25 sleeves when you first start, I ran out in the first week because I was using them all on my patients. I ran out of all the patches in the first week. So then I had to order like another $1,500 or $2,000 worth of patches The next week I ran out again. Like, oh my gosh, I can't keep these on hand. So then the third week I ordered another $1,500, $2,000 worth of stuff, and I ran out again. So I'm like, okay, I really need to, my next order, I need to order enough patches to keep so that I can start on the patches. And I need to order extras of Ice Wave for sure, extra Eon. And so I had some Eon patches left, but I didn't have, all my Ice Wave was gone. I had ordered new patches, but they hadn't come in yet. So I'm like, I'm going to use Eon. You can use Eon in lieu of Ice Wave. So that's what I did because I didn't have Ice Wave. So I immediately got there. I elevated her foot. I went to put ice, and then I reset her. I reset her foot. And then I went to I circumvented. I wanted to surround the foot with all 5 patches because her foot had blown up like a balloon. You could see the inflammation, and it's obviously filling with blood, which is why it's ballooning. And so I told her, okay, so I want you to go to, the best thing you can do when you have a fracture is to go to sleep, because your body's going to do a more rapid repair doing that. So I said, try the best you can to get to sleep, just rest, relax, hold the foot up. And in 6 hours, which is the half-life of the patch, I want you to report back to me what's going on. So that would be 8 p.m. So sure enough, before I left, her pain level was already about 50% down. When I talked to her at 8 o'clock, she goes, Mom, I have 0 pain and all the inflammation went down. I said, all your inflammation is like gone? She goes, yeah, I have no inflammation and no pain. I said, wow. I said, fantastic. I said, okay, at 2 a.m, you need to set an alarm to remove your patches. I said, tomorrow morning when you wake up, I go, don't, get up early for any reason. Just whenever you wake up, just before you put your patches on again, because I left the patches with her. I said, let me know what your pain level is and what your inflammation is. So the next day, her foot was all black and blue. She said, I have no pain, I have no inflammation, but there's bruising all over my foot. And I said, wow, no, you have 0 pain? She goes, no pain, no inflammation. It's just all black and blue, which is expected because the blood from the fracture is now, it went from, fresh blood to it's drying inside under the skin. And that's why it gets purple, black, and blue and yellow, right? So she put the patches the next day on again at 2 p.m. Repeat. On Monday, she had no bruising. When I checked with her again, she says, no pain, no inflammation, and no bruising. I could show you the pictures. I still have them in my phone. And I said, you're kidding me. Tuesday, the bruising came back again, but still no pain, still no inflammation. Fast forward to the following Saturday. By the following Saturday, her foot was well enough where she was able to put it inside of a tennis shoe and she could walk the dog for an hour. Now, she had to be careful not to bump her foot into anything, but she was able to walk for an hour after just 8 days, from Saturday to Saturday. At the four-week mark, she was back to playing soccer, kicking the ball. What normally would have taken 6 to 8 weeks, 4 weeks, done.
That's wild. Wow.
It is wild. In fact, Dr. Andrea, and I don't know how old Dr. Andrea is, if she's in her, she looks like she's in her mid 30s, like early 30s. She might be a super awesome looking, she might just be a 40-year-old that looks like she's, in her early 30s. If you give me a second, I'll show you. She had, she broke her finger in her hand, and her sister was really doubting that these patches really did anything. And, sweetheart. Let me see if I can show you really quick here. Okay, so here, let me find, and then Andrea here. Okay, so here's Dr. Andrea's. I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see the pictures that she sent to me. And her sister was like, this was 4 days, which is so insane that in 4 days, her fractured finger. So here's her finger. She fractured her finger. Can you see that?
Yep.
Her finger's black and blue and purple. It's filling up with blood because she just broke her finger. 4 days later, look, She said 4 days later, not only was the black and blue gone, she goes, my finger was totally fine. I could use it. 4 days. I go, wow. I thought 8 days was impressive with my daughter. 4 days. Her hand is totally fine. 4 days from this, and here's 4 days after. And she put E on. Same thing. I put E on. I put X39, 49, and E on my daughter's foot, glutathione and carnosine.
It's just amazing.
It is amazing. It really is quite remarkable. Yeah, it's very exciting. You know, we keep on getting all sorts of pretty awesome reports. Yeah. So any other questions either of you might have?
Hi, I met you at convention. I was in front of you in line.
I do remember you. I never forget a face.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm a fan.
Oh,
Anyway, so can you explain an easy way to say pluripotent?
yes.
Or the definition of pluripotent?
Yeah. The easiest thing is to just let people know pluripotent cells are pluri means plural as opposed to singular. Potent,
yes.
Potential. So it's pluri is multiple potentials. So that cell has multiple potentials. It can make a brain cell, it can make a heart cell, it can make a toenail cell.
Oh, okay.
It has all the potentials because it has 100% of your programming that was there at conception. And so these are turning on, these patches turn on those pluripotent cells, not from birth, it's from conception moving forward. And that's why this is so powerful.
Okay. Holy smokes. Okay. Because, you know, when you say pluripotent cells, people will ask you what that means. And so there you go. Thank you.
Pluri,
And
yeah.
Pluri meaning many. Okay. And also you said you did a tattoo convention?
Yes. So when I went, Anne Ziegenhorn, who is the chairman of the board of the Implant Truth Survivors group for women who have implants. She is an expert in helping women get explants. I flew out there to help her with an event that she had for her organization and get people started on stem cell patches. And then the day before, there was a tattoo convention at the convention center in Destin. So we went to that, and yeah, it was incredible. I told Anne, I go, oh my gosh, this is amazing, because we used X39 and Ice Wave on everyone. Because all the people had pain. All the tattoo artists from doing 6, 7, 8, 9, bending over, they all had back pain, back and neck pain. And then of the people who were participants, there were a lot of people who had migraines, headaches, and other aches in the body. We batted 100. Every person that we put the mother stem cell activation patch, the phototherapy patches, and Ice Wave, all of them within minutes, they were like, can this really work this fast? They're like, oh my gosh, like my pain's all gone. I'm like, where did you put them? So for people who had migraines, we put X39 on the neck bump, and here on the left and right temple. And every single person in the United States and in Europe that I've done that for migraines or headaches, it all works like within minutes. For people who had neck or back pain, we put X39 and Ice Wave. If they had neck pain, then I put it either on the same exact thing or under each earlobe. Yeah. And because it's all in that same region, their neck pain would go away. If they had back pain, we just put X39. I'd tell them, point to where you feel the pain in your back. For some people, they had mid back pain, like around the waist. For some people, it was much lower. Just depended if it was a man or a woman, their size, and you know how much they were leaning over. So I would put that X39 right on the spine where they were pointing to, and then a tan patch on left, about 3 inches over, and a white patch on the right. And that did it.
I know. I have a tattoo parlor that I had patched the other day. I gave her the X39 here, and she has lower back pain, so I put the E on the lower back, and she's very interested in carrying it there. But my question is, has anyone tried to use the Ice Wave during a tattoo session, like blocking the pain of a tattoo?
So you can do that. And Anne Ziegenhorn, she just recently, when we went to the tattoo convention, she had just gotten a new tattoo, and she was wearing her patches through the tattoo process. And instead of it taking 2 to 3 or 4 weeks for it to completely peel and to completely heal, her tattoo had peeled in like 3 or 4 days and it was totally fine after a week. So what would normally take you about a month to 6 weeks, hers was less than a week. And the tattoo artists were like, as they were looking at her tattoo, because it was on her neck, they're like, oh my gosh, that's incredible. They're like, I gotta, a
Yeah,
lot of them are
very interested in signing up and carrying it there.
Yeah.
And I'm going back there Saturday because they're having a fair at the tattoo parlor, and I'm going to have my booth there. So I was going to experiment with
Yeah.
somebody who might be getting a tattoo, cradling it or centering it with ice waves on
Absolutely.
whatever certain points, and an X39 just to
Yeah, I mean, you got to bear in mind that when you activate the P63 protein, you're also activating the epithelium and peptide protein in the body, which is responsible for your skin. So yeah, that's why you have these incredible results.
Yeah, I use the aloe vera as well. Do you use aloe vera?
I wear aloe vera every night on my third eye, and carnosine, instead of wearing it during the daytime, I put it on my right temple because it gives you more vivid dreams, and I recall my dreams when I wake up. I started wearing it there, so it's been a year now that I've been wearing carnosine on my right temple and aloe vera on my forehead.
Yeah, I've never tried carnosine there. I normally wear it on my lower back. Because I have lower back issues, but everything's working out pretty well. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. It's so good to see you at convention and to see you here again. Yes, okay, my beautiful friends and gems, I'm going to share the last few screens just so that you have, and the people on Facebook also have, the balance of the information. I hope this is the right screen. Yep. So we talked about how much it costs. We obviously can't charge you $1 million, although it's worth it. Some people would argue $1, $2, $3, $4, $5 million to get back all of your health. And we know that traditional stem cell therapies by IV or injection run thousands of dollars, like $8,000 to $11,000 per IV session. You can't even get it in the States because of this FDA ruling that's gone on. It's made it illegal for some time now. So you have to leave the country, travel, get a hotel, pay for airfare and so forth, plus accommodations and all that kind of good stuff. But these, we would start you on a Dr. Wholesale pack and know that you can get each patch just retail for $5 a day. So get back to the person who referred you to this video, and they will show you how you can get started. On the retail side, you do pay retail and you are obligated to a 6-month auto ship, but they can show you how you can bring that price down, and you can also get free patches, because when we start you on a Dr. Wholesale pack, they'll fill out this Dr. Wholesale form and then enter it into their back office. And for a gold pack, you see here on a gold pack, that covers your Fantastic 5. But because it's a Dr. Wholesale pack, guess what? In addition to the 5, you will get 3 additional free bonus patches. So what I like to do is I like to get people, if they have a lot of pain, we'll get them 2 Ice Wave and an energy enhancer. If you have some pain, but it's not a lot, then we'll get 2 energy enhancers and 1 Ice Wave. And so you'll get to try those out for free in the first 30 days. That's $4.99. The retail is $7.50. Because just the mother stem cell activation patch and the daughter, that's $149 each. Just this for 30 days is $149. That's what $5 a day times 30 is $149. Times 2, that would be $300. So here you can see how you're saving $49 a sleeve. It's just $4.99. It averages out to $100 a sleeve, right? And so with that being said, if you're willing to order 3 months in advance, 3 times 5 is $1,500. That would be the diamond pack. And if you do the diamond pack now, it drops your price per sleeve to $55 each, which brings your cost, the patch cost per patch is then just $2.80 per patch per day, which is a pretty big savings from $5 down to $2.80. So you save quite a bit, especially since we do recommend you be on the patches for the next 12 months to repair and restore and regenerate your body head to toe. So again, get back to the person who referred you to this video. They'll be able to answer your questions. Either them or someone on their team can address all those questions for you. Last but not least, you can always go to and read all 90 clinical studies and to read about our 120 patents that are in 81 countries, they're global patents, you can go to startx39now.com. Last but not least, to get started text, you can text my hotline here. Bear in mind, it's old school. It's not monitored. It's not set up to some sort of text system or something. It's just coming to my hotline number. Whatever voice message you leave, it's transcribed into text message to me. And as soon as I see it, as soon as I'm not on a Zoom call, then I can text you the to get started text or the bullet points for that matter. If not, you can always get back to the person, like I said, who referred you, and they'll take good care of you. To watch the replay of this video, you can go to my YouTube channel. If you're on my YouTube channel, you're already on Love and Money Secrets TV. Otherwise, you can go to damelillianwalker.com. That's a URL that I have pointed going to my YouTube channel. You can share that with your friends and family. If you're on YouTube now, please, pretty please, just to help other people find these videos, hit the like button. Also hit subscribe and hit that notification bell, because every time there's a new video, you'll be notified. It helps the YouTube algorithm push it out to more people so that more people will learn about this life-saving technology. Does that make sense? You can also see on there my education, my stories of transformation. I bring a lot of zero-cost education there, that it doesn't cost you anything extra. Sometimes I have information about something as simple as changing the order in which you eat your foods to bring your glucose levels down and bring down your insulin resistance. We can help you, and you don't even have to, change your diet. You don't even have to spend any additional money. There are other things that I refer you to Amazon. I don't have any affiliate accounts there, but there are things that I feel like David Schmidt, the scientist, feels, we have a moral obligation to do what it is, to provide you with the education and information to do the best for your body. So of course, you're buying the patches, you're investing in yourself, doing something that's going to benefit you. And there's sometimes other things, everything from supplements to different things that you can do to help you on this journey of regenerating your body to a younger, healthier state. Okay. That's just a little recap here to show you again what the Mother Stem Cell Activation Patch does. I want to thank you and remind you to get back to the person who referred you. And thank you for being on this broadcast today. Thank you for tuning in, tapping in, and turning on to this broadcast, and do share this with a friend. Oh, someone says, oh, you're quite welcome, from Nikki. Thank you, Nikki. And thank you, Cleve, for being on here tonight. I really appreciate you both. Ciao for now, my friends and gems. My necklace is on the other side here. Okay, ciao for now. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.